We've had another couple of questions come in about family history, which we thought we would share with you in case the answers help you with your family history as well. Although firstly, we want to say that Ancestry website will still be available to use at home for our customers until at least the end of August. We've checked with them and they've confirmed that they're extending that period. So the first question is whether we've got workhouse records. The person who asked us said that they think they've got an ancestor who was in one of the workhouses. Can they find out anything more about it through any of the records? Do we have anything? The answer, in short, is possibly. Poor law unions who looked after workhouses and administered them since the 1830s were very good at keeping records. However, in amongst all the records and information and deposits that we've got, quite often what survives are the meetings of the board and ledgers and details about how they were run, rather than the admission registers, the information about the actual individuals and people who went in. We do have some, but they are not that common. Whether they were destroyed, something else happened, or maybe that they're somewhere else waiting to be found and passed on to us, we're not quite sure. But it's the same with quite a lot of places around the country as well. The ones that are most interesting, that most people would like, aren't necessarily the ones that have survived. So it's a case of checking with our catalogues, and we've also got various lists to say what we've got for the different workhouses, for the different dates, and check whether we've got admission registers or other registers that might give details of individuals. The second question is from a man who said that he checked in some of the records and he thinks he's found one of his ancestors, but he said the place of birth seems to change from one source to another. Has he got the right person? Why would a place of birth change? Because obviously you're born in a particular place. It could well be the same person. Various information can change, and so it's sometimes having to check various bits of information to make sure that you've got the right person. Now, it could be a different place of birth, because it might not be the person themselves filling in the form or passing on that information. It could be somebody else who may not know. They may make a guess. They may misremember. They might not particularly care, depending on what it is. They're just putting something down. Another reason why it could be that it's a different place of birth put down, it could be that it's the actual person themselves, and they may either themselves misremember. It may be that they were born, for instance, in Harlow. Now, do you put Harlow down, or do you put Worcester because it's the bigger place nearby? Or alternatively, they may deliberately put it down because they want to be seen as being local. They may want to be seen as being in that area in case they need to fall on hard times. Contact the Poor Law Union, for instance, and there was always a fear that lots of these sources were seen by other people. Usually they weren't. However, sometimes people may move from one place to another, and there are a small number of examples where people may change where they put down for their place of birth. Not all the time, lots of people, it will be quite accurate, but it's always bearing in mind why people put things down and thinking that things might not be quite exactly what you expect. These sources that we have and are online were never intended for family or local historians in 2020. They were done for other purposes, and we're now trying to extract that information. So there will be times when information doesn't quite match up because, sadly, they're not doing it for us. So when some bit of information doesn't quite tally, check everything else, check alternatives. Is there any other possibilities? And sometimes it will be that it is that person, but as I said, either the name, the spelling, the age or place of birth or something else might not be quite what you're expecting, which is one of the frustrations with family history. And so it's checking around just to see it still might be the right person, but always bear in mind that things might not be exactly what you expect.